folk tales, folk songs, and folk dances are part of the Eastern culture. It's an integral part of what we do in our daily lives. I wish I could talk about the Latin American culture, but perhaps after 2 months, when I finish our Pacific coast and the Atlantic coast visit via the Panama Canal, I will know more about the Latin America. Today, I'm going to talk to you about the Middle Eastern culture and the folk tales and the folk dances and the folk music. Myself, my wife, and my family had the privilege of living in the Middle East for nearly 25 years. What a beautiful opportunity. You know, far, far away from your faith, from your culture, you go to a place called Middle East, the land known to be for the oil and gas, but a land far beyond the oil and gas was a land known to be the best place for the three major religions. The Judaism, the Christianity, the Islam was born in those places where I lived for 25 years. 90% of the people were Islamic origin, and if you as a Christian coming from the Eastern culture, oriented culture, go and blend yourself in a community that's far different from you, and yet, as Keith said, it's all global society. And as Letitia said, it's all mindful of being able to recognize one another regardless of who we are and what we are. Folk tales are part of the Middle Eastern culture. You know, all the American businessmen are cautioned when they go to the Middle Eastern business. All this sitting and talking like Jim and Greg did is after 5 visits. Before the 5th visit comes, you have to be interpersonal. You have to get to know one another more intimately. How will you get to know? You can't talk about the politics, you have to be very careful. You can't talk about the religion, you have to be very cautious. You can't talk about the women, because that sometimes is not too good. So the most important thing that is possible in the Middle East is to exchange the folk tales. Because the host will come up with hundreds of different tales. He gets to know you. He gets your eyes connected to you for 5 different times in order to know you more and more. You want to know how you are connecting yourself with him for the culture. That's the most important aspect of being successful in the Middle East. There's so much to be exchanged in the way of folk tales, because the folk tales in the Middle East especially go back to the centuries, go back to thousands of years of history and civilization. You know, a nomad maybe never gone to school, but a nomad, as far as I'm concerned, having interacted for 25 years, is like a prophet to me. He knows everything. I don't know how. He doesn't have a connection to CNN, nor Fox. Yet he knows everything. He knows about the weather, he knows about the stars, he knows about the climate, he knows about the oil prices, everything he knows. How this possible, but it's part of the cultural values that they blend with. In the Middle East, especially, men are separated from the women. But once you know the languages, know the customs, once you have a family, become much more interconnected. I visited hundreds of families in my spare time, because in those days the life was very primitive. There were no televisions, there were no newspapers, there were no clubs, there were no cinemas, there were no churches even. So what you do is all interpersonal. It's all interpersonal connections, visiting families. When you go to an Arab family, as soon as you go inside, your wife is escorted backside to the women folk, where the women all gather. And the man, you are taken to the majlis, where the men are together. Most of the folk tales are covered at the eating place. Normally in the Arab world, they don't have big dining tables, but we always sit on the floor. Beautiful carpets, beautiful cushions, we sit on the floor like a majlis, face one another, and all that you do is folk tales, exchange folk tales. Exchange all that you know about your culture, about your religion, about your understanding. It goes on. And as we talk, you could see the women laughing and smiling and screaming at the back. You could hear them. And the men would say, look, your wife must have brought a lot of humor there. Please bring her more often. And see, they're having fun. Our women are always a lot of like lame ducks. But when the outsiders come, they have a lot of enjoyment. So please come good, but it was a lot of personal respect and everything. One of the most important things that you learn in the Middle East is their calendar is different from our Gregorian calendar. They follow the lunar calendar, different seasons, different months that are Hijra calendars. One of the two special months that I remember in the Middle East, the month of Ramadan, the fasting month, and the month of Hajj, the pilgrimage month. Very important months out of 10 months. The months keep rotating, changing every year because of the lunar calendar. The month of Ramadan is a very special month. It's a month that you fast from sunrise to sunset. And the sunrise comes at 5 o'clock, so you start fasting, you start beginning prayers, you hear all the mosques, all the prayers. It goes on for the whole day. Strictly eating and drinking and smoking is forbidden. And if you are a foreigner, not be doing things, you are going to be imprisoned and being deported. So from morning till afternoon, most of the Muslim people don't work because they have been fasting all night, all day, and so most of the work burden comes on you. It goes on. And then in the evening, when the sun is setting, the dinner is kept. They eat all the breakfast and lunch and dinner all at one time. They eat so much from 5 o'clock until 5 o'clock in the morning. As a result, their health also spoils during the time because it's all abnormal. You're sleeping at the wrong time, eating at the wrong time, eating wrong things, and eating so many things. It's absent. But you, as a foreign culture, watch this very carefully. You respect one another. You have a tremendous faith in what they do, and you become part of them, regardless who you are. It goes on. Then comes, after the end of the Ramadan season, a festival. It's a lot of family reunions, a lot of get-togetherness, a lot of giving and taking. That's the month of Ramadan ending. Then after 40 days thereafter comes the month of pilgrimage, the Hajj season. Millions and millions of people come to Mecca to pay the pilgrimage. You cannot believe the temperature is about 120 degrees hot outside. And they come in front with all the white sheets covered, praying, going on to Mecca. Life is so terrible because to have millions of people accommodated, there are only about 50,000 hotels and rooms there. The rest of the people have to live in tents. But the government does so much in billions of dollars to provide facilities for them under the tent, the water, the food, the ice, medical aid, the cots, the bed sheet, everything is done. But how much can you do? So lots of people even die during that time. So if you die during the pilgrimage time, go straight to heaven according to faith. It's a beautiful feeling to see at the end of the Hajj sacrificial time how they reconcile with one another, how they try to recover from a lot of good things. These are all seasonal festivals of a different religion, but it's all part of interconnection. As Ms. Madeline said, she's from the international diplomacy. It's part of being diplomat to learn what is all cultures all about, what is each one's custom and the faith and its ideology is all about. It's a person, it's a matter of getting to know one another. Business is important, but business is not as important as friendship. And the friendship in that part of the world comes by being interconnected to one another, by getting to know one another, by trying to understand each other, and to say that we're all working together. Once we're all done a good friendship at that level, business will come, business will go.